Washington.
This your boy, Martin for here once again. Hey, what's going on YouTube? This your boy Jamari for here once again, and I have a special guest with me on tonight. This is my friend Matty Rants. He and I do our Canada's Drag Race. We've done Drag Race for like the past 3 years over on his channel. So y'all be sure to go check us out if you want to talk about that. Go ahead and let them know where they can find you, sir.
Hey, this is your boy Matty Rants. If you want to find me, you can find me. I said that twice in my name introduction as well. Hobble. Yep, this is me. At Matty Rants on Facebook and on Instagram, at the Matty Rants on Twitter, and of course on the YouTube at Matty Rants.
Girl, so I was telling him about this show, and did you been watching since the first season, or did you just kind of catch up now?
I actually did watch the first season. I watched it not recently. I was a fan, but I was like a secret fan. Like, this is kind of a mess, and I want to sit back and watch this burn kind of mess. Okay, I feel the same way of the Chasing Whatever City series as well.
Those I haven't seen, but I heard they're good.
I watched them all, and that's where I knew of Davon from the Chasing Atlanta series, where the casket sharp that is Akeem is where I know him from too. And then he got on this show, and I was like, wow, this is interesting. So didn't know if I was gonna really care for this, but I had to call Jamar because once I got through the first 2 episodes, and I said, Fred, are you reviewing this? He said, yes.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna have to come in on at least one of these episodes and give
Absolutely. Because a friend of mine told me about it back in January. Like, you have to watch the show. I'm like, okay, girl. I binged the whole first season in like a week. So I was ready for the next season to come out. So
fur coats and no shirts underneath, huh?
Oh, and the chest glitter.
Don't forget the chest glitter. Do not. It's a little spooge right there. Baby.
I live for the confessionals because I never know what I'm going to see.
I know the volume's never going to be on, right?
Well.
My God. Babies, you are speaking into a microphone. Okay. There's a couple.
I don't know what kind of microphones the production is giving, but if you are not aware, we're here to talk about gsatlh Season 2, Episode 5, Part 1. Well, child, this is going to be a journey to make it on through, amen?
You know I'm coming back for Part 2 because that's next week. And I got to say, Jamar, for it to be a Part 1, hold on, I'm gonna need this to be the theme here. Show me the receipt.
Because we have questions that need answers.
Concerns.
So I'm glad that they started with like a recap of the barbecue that happened. So we talked about it last week over here. What did you think of what happened at the barbecue? What was said?
All right, let's be rock, paper, scissors, shoot about it, okay? Y'all were playing that boy because he worked at CPK. You were. There's nothing wrong with him working there, but y'all were implying that there was something by the giggling and the snickering that goes with it. When someone gives their occupation, why does a laugh have to follow with what they're doing? So there was shade that was given. Now, was it the extra that was all that Delicious was talking about? I don't think so. I think there was a little bit of a rock thrown through someone's house, but the glass didn't break. Do you feel me? Delicious is talking about the whole entire back is out, gone. All the windows been shaken out, girl. Can you believe it? I don't even want to do her voice. But then, Jamar, like you say, words were exchanged. I feel like the whole snipping of the whatever was inappropriate by all means necessary. However, I'm already having a visual issue with this. I'm already having a visual issue with this. Somebody that likes to use an S to spell delicious, okay? It's already a problem. And you want to call that person the F word, and then you want to use the N word on top of it like it was nothing but ghost, like it was just nothing. Like it was nothing.
Yeah, and that's a common issue. Like Veronica Vega from like one of the Love and Hip Hop.
Ew.
She was the conveyor of I am Mexican. I was raised in a certain area around other people of color, so therefore I have this pass to utilize this word, and we can't I can't stress it enough.
How long was she on that show?
Who knows? Not very long.
Yeah, not after that.
Are not African American. Do not use the word. It doesn't matter who said you can use it, who's giving you the pass, because let me tell you, you might be able to, might have a group of friends that let you use it, but you get around some other people that don't know you and you use it and if you get knocked in the teeth, it's not our fault.
I need to know who is giving these passes out, saying that this is Black culture and you're fine to use these things. Who is giving these passes?
Some people believe in like if they were raised with them, like if you were and they feel like, oh well, yeah.
No, that's just somebody trying to give an excuse for their own ignorance. But you know, the same as follows: when you're in the LGBTQ plus IA community, you have to remind yourself of all the other letters in the alphabet that you're representing. So that's why not everybody gets to walk away unscathed in this. And I don't believe that just because at one point in time you was feeling some kind of way that you could then say something about somebody else just because they are sure.
I'm guilty of this too, because in midst of anger and frustration, especially when we're full. You're
gonna drag somebody.
We, especially amongst each other, we sometimes use the F word to describe one another, and we working on it.
We've been there. Mm-hmm.
I can acknowledge my own faults, but I just don't want to make it seem like I'm picking and choosing. But yeah, that was and then the claim that she had Charlie in the bed and bent him over, wore him out.
Wore him. He even used the term poos. She used that term to describe his box and then said paint on top of it and paid. Listen, Jamar, poon box, 3 P's. Poon box, paint, paid. So she was paid for the services of getting a good old fudgesicle banana.
That child, if you have ever been painted.
Listen, and by the coke in her eyes, I saw I'm telling the truth. Every time she had to say it, it got a little louder and more expressive every time they had to reiterate that story. So I don't know if I necessarily believe it, to be honest with you. I know a lot of people who lie professionally, personally. Maybe they did do something. Maybe it's not that much. Could be an exaggeration. Mm-hmm. But that image was just...
And you know what? I would imagine, because I haven't had this conversation with one of my other friends who used to this trans woman. I imagine the fact of you utilizing your member would cause some body dysmorphia. As in, like, you feel like, oh, if I'm using it, I feel less of a woman. Like, some people feel like that. It doesn't work for everybody, but I would imagine that would be the case.
Yeah.
So it's not far-fetched, but it's like, you gotta show me something. That is a claim.
See, I can't even look at Delicious as an example of something that would give me a real positive experience for understanding something like that. That's why I'm already was sitting here trying to understand, more. And it's, I feel like she was setting people back, girl. That's all I gotta say. Cause I honestly am like, I wouldn't ask her on a radio show about trans rights and opinions and stuff. I'm sure she's been through a whole lot of, but what happened with that see, we haven't even gotten to that part yet.
We'll get there.
it's like one person's asking for something and then turning around and doing the exact opposite of it. I know some trans women who do still utilize their member, and that conversation of femininity and things have popped up again, but then it's been more so about more than just that, or seeing that attachment as the thing that's telling them if they're a woman or not. So I don't know. I personally don't know. I have too much respect for my trans sisters to be like, let me dive into this deeper without anybody telling me what's up. But I do feel uncomfortable when I know how hard especially Black trans sisters are fighting out here. Mm-hmm. And I see someone like Delicious opening her mouth and saying, and shit continues to fall out.
Yeah, Delicious you have a lot. I know you're watching, Mitch. You have a lot to work on. But now, mind you, this was a year ago.
And I was cool with the first 2 episodes with her. Yeah.
I feel like, she's seen it. I'm going to hope that she's, learned from this. But girl. But we're going to continue back on Delicious again. Well, let's talk quickly about the conversation that Lando was having with Sherrod, because this kind of furthered somewhat of a similar narrative.
Girl, it was like, let's talk about the mess. This was this episode. Let's talk about the mess.
Honestly, yes. Let's talk about what the girls are here to discuss.
Well, Sherrod is Beyonce, apparently. That's the word on the street, Giselle. Housewives of Potomac reference there, everybody. Word of the street, that's a lie.
That show so long.
It's back on, you know that, right?
I know, but I've missed like 2 seasons, and I feel like I'm too far gone.
No, you're lying to yourself. It's currently the best Housewives out there, right?
It really is. Even for the first season, it was really good.
I'm just ready to drag Candace, but yes. Sherrod is Beyonce, or Beyonce Light. Let's just call him Farrah. Because she's always traveling. You see her always, I just came back from something really important. Was it a cabin trip, or was it something really important? Lando, who I haven't really seen that much until just honestly this dinner conversation.
I put a face to his name this week.
I was like, who is this? What kind of Pixar character was just introduced midway through this movie? But he was given all the tea. Listen, saying they were all shading him and don't be their friend no more. Okay, at least someone's being honest with Sherrod, because you walking around with a bunch of other girls that are like, we can be fake together. So I give Lando that much credit. When the conversation of Charlie came up, now Lando, he was wrong.
You fucked up.
I was here until you femme-shamed Charlie. Charlie is not okay for the things that he said in reference to the transphobic comments. However, you don't have to turn around, which is why I hate when people do this, and then go, well, girl, you look like you're trying to be a woman, so why don't you go ahead and transition? That is not okay. That's not okay.
And like you said, it trivializes both the trans experience and demonizes just feminine men. Like, they're not the same.
And that's why, Sherrod, you can't giggle and laugh at that, but then say that you're not for that kind of fuckery in the same breath, because that's what you did low-key on camera, my mom. Okay? All the glistening flat chest, all of it. Yeah, that's what was happening. Let's see. Oh yeah, keep going. I'm sorry. I'm trying.
Lando was trying to make this point of, do you feel like? Oh no, actually no. Let me backtrack. Let me backtrack a bit, because Sherrod was upset that during that whole conversation that he was hearing about what happened at the barbecue, is that he fished around the words homeless and prostitute in reference to Brandon. When he's like, I never said that. I don't even know where those words even came from, and that's that messy shit. That's that messy shit. Like,
that's that lost in translation shit, because you heard one thing said that may have been considered negative, then you were already on some other on some stuff, and when you relayed back that tea, you gave all your on top of it that you already had. That's what I always be telling folks. Watch out how you feel about people. It'll come out in the stuff that you say once you get some little information on it.
Honestly and for truly. And Lando brought up a great conversation, or like a good question. So he says, you know that Delicious is very cool with Brandon, and you know that you and Brandon don't really connect very well. So how much can you trust Delicious?
Ooh, Lando.
But see, I've been Delicious before.
Oh.
So, many a times
the middle friend.
Friend group.
The middle friend.
Very bad. Many a times I've had a friend group or a group of people where we're all friends, where two or more of the people will fall out, and I mean like fall completely out. Fist fighting, cussing each other out, the whole night.
Maybe. Mm-hmm.
And so now they're not cool, but then we're still cool with each other. So it's like, I'll still have a relationship with one, and then the other one get mad, and I'm still talking to them. And we're friends first, and
I'm one of those people that wouldn't care what you do as long as that other person isn't talking about me. That's the whole thing, y'all. We can all be cool. I just don't have my name in your mouth. That's all. I'm not talking about you. Don't talk about me. We have a friend that's mutual. That's it.
That's how it should be.
It's not that difficult.
So it's like like if you were Sherrod and somebody asked you that question, like would that make you second guess your relationship with the middle friend?
So I'll be real with you, only on the level of where my issues are with the other person. Like if it's some type of stuff and my friend is still friends with them, I'm not mad that they're friends with them, but I would want an understanding as far as the relationship is concerned and how I feel with what they're going forward. Like, hey, we have issues. And I don't want to tell you who to be friends with, but just do me a favor. If my name pops up, clip him. Like, we're not doing this today. This is me and you, not about you and that person. That'd be my only thing. If you're just gonna be with, I just need to know some loyalty here because I don't care about this queen. They shouldn't be caring about me now. So we've all moved on. That's my only issue with that. I do see where he could be like, But then again, Sherrod, you placed yourself in this position because you didn't have no friends in this first place at the beginning of the season. And now you're rolling around with Delicious because that's your ride. Isn't that what this looks like every episode? Girl, she can have the passenger seat.
That is what it looks like.
Every episode.
That is what it looks like.
Like Delicious gets a full 30 seconds of intro just because you're getting out of the car. I must stop. Because when I tell you I was looking at that mess today, like, so why are you passenger seat getting out deep? Like, what is happening here? I'm gonna stop.
You gotta have each other's back somehow.
Somebody's got to do it. Someone's got to do it.
Any place that they've ever gone, like any event that they've ever went to together, it's like if the other person wasn't there, they wouldn't have had any So it's like, look,
she'd have been.
I know it's gonna be lit up in here. Let me have at least one person that got my back.
Yeah.
Let me have at least one person shout out.
I wish I could put fake nails on right now just to express my discontent. Look at my brush. This will be a nail. The
only thing about those type of nails, I just be wondering, there's no way. How are you wiping your ass? That's the thing I always think about. Like, how in the world? Anyway.
It's like puka shells, like getting like.
Well, women do it every day.
Yes, and I love it, but I don't love it on some people. Delicious. You look crazy.
Speaking of Delicious, just now we're here at this point. You go ahead and mention your point about the interview, or the radio interview that you were going to do.
Oh my God. Hey, welcome to the radio. We are here to talk about protecting trans women and trans rights and understanding more of a trans point of view. Well, thank you so much. But really what I want to talk about is how I just dicked down this guy and painted on me. And then I totally did what I needed to do. And what the things he said about me, because he has a huge platform. And I want to make sure that I put him down right now on this stage where I could have really talked about myself. And she even said I could talk about myself, but she chose to be that person today. And some of the things that were said were very much out of line and almost like an explanation. So you're explaining why you said the F word? That was the killer. That was the killer. Oh, well, I said it because of the things that I've gone through and what I know of for me to say that word.
And how he was acting. I want you to finish, but then I'm gonna give like an explanation of where her mindset is and how she got there. Go ahead.
I'm glad you can drive down that road and tell us what stoplight she's at, because personally, I think we're in a vacant place where there's no street signs at all. Honestly, I don't like it's so. God, please forgive me. I'm trying to get through this because I really had a tough time watching this part, Jamar. It was an attack on Charlie. I don't like Charlie like the next girl, okay? Just to be real with you. Mm-hmm. All this I can't do all that. Like, she's about to chase that down every time she gets up there and starts to speak. I'm like, girl, I see your 8 count. You getting them points in on the 9. Like, let's go. But this felt very put together and produced. And if this was all out of emotion and I'm gonna get you, this was trash. And I don't like that it was facilitated, and I was a little bit disappointed. So there you go.
Yeah, I knew that this episode was going to be a doozy when they had to preface it by saying the comments related in this episode do not reflect those of the production of G Status. I'm like, oh yeah, y'all have not had to say this in any other episode but this one.
I said, what in the season 12 of Drag Race is going on here? A bumper before the episode? Oh, weird.
You already knew. There was an opening and the closing. We'll talk about later.
The closing of the Olympics, you mean?
We'll talk about later. So this is my theory. With the barbecue happened, and Charlie made those comments about Delicious having had her dick off. She said, well, that doesn't really faze me. You're gonna have to try to find something that to really hurt my feelings. That really did hurt her feelings. She didn't want to. I just feel like she didn't want to make it seem like it hurt her feelings.
Oh, of course.
And it hurt her feelings so much so that she just lost all rationale and reason. And I felt like she was so hurt. She's like, I need to make him hurt the way that I feel hurt right now. And that's, I think, why in her head she's justifying the use of the F word, because to our community it is a jab. Okay, it is a jab. And just like what Charlie said, is a jab to her community. So that was her trying to do tit for tat, which is petty, girl. You don't have to, stoop down to that level, okay? But this was rough. This was rough. I didn't think she was going to say his name. I thought she was going to be real inconspicuous about it. She was like, "Oh, I can go." She almost did.
She almost did. But then when the radio host was like, "So what you're saying is," and you're ready to talk about it, and she was like, "Oh yeah, let's do it." It's like, you dumb, like, look at you with your 3 shades tint different of paint on your face confessionals with this horrible wig trying to give all these people something, baby. I don't know you like Jamar knows you, okay? So I'm gonna just tell you like it is. Yeah.
I told her, I was like, if I'm only gonna talk about what's put on the show.
What you did was racist. What you did was behind on your time, if your time is almost up. Like, this was some bullshit. And I don't think that I'm a Mexican trans girl comment that you said what didn't slide past me, boo-boo, because that was some real jabby shit. Like, how am I gonna be upset at some black queens type of shit? Yes, mama. That's how you implied it. That you are better than them because you are Mexican. That is literally how you implied it. That was tough. Especially how you looked. To see how you looked to say that was tough. That was tough to take in. I was like, oh, y'all let her say that? That should have been a clip. Now, baby, hold on. Let's adjust this make. Like, before we get her back on, she got to lose look beat when she gonna say that, but was not. So I was confused by the, I don't know where this inner strength was coming from, but it came from a bad place. I'll tell you that. I used to like Delicious. Honestly, first 2 episodes, I was here for the clickety-clack. I was here for eating food, having that kind of energy at the table. That was everything.
Everybody else was twirling, she in the back.
I was so here for that. That was right. But what has been ever since you gotten real into this group, that there has been some things I imagined. Nah, I see this shit. There you go.
But
every time I see her on the screen, I want to just next to 4. I just want to.
Oh, we gonna get on her,
girl, and the that's Dre Sumba, girl. Woo!
I can't wait.
You ever seen someone geeking? That is
I don't want to get everything out with Delicious, but I need to talk about Ford. I need to talk about Ford.
Now that was, I said, y'all got too much going on in the show this week.
But I live.
I did.
Really live. Did you have anything about the scene with our guy at his home church?
Hey, talk about a redemption story. Talk about somebody trying to get saved real quick. Not only is your hair laid, dyed, and fried to the side.
Baby, that unit was everything.
It was so right. I was like, yes, our guy. I want this unit is right.
Hold on, wait. Let me get it. Hold on. Girl, our guy was sitting up in that confessional with this face all to the one side. I am here, at my church because I want to get right with the Lord. And I have really gone through all these different things in my life, which is true. What he said was true.
He does the turn.
Joke about it, but what you said is true. You go through some stuff when you go to the house of God.
Or you can leave it all right there. You can leave it all right there. Release, cleansed, and removed. I am on to the good path again. Listen, our guy, that was funny. That was funny, sister. I'm going to be real with you. I was cackling at, not at what you're trying to do while you're being there, but the imagery perspective of this. You just got into this nasty fight where you were saying all kinds of toxicity. And then I see you in church the next day. And this is him, y'all. I don't know what I said, but I know it was wrong. So I'm in church now, and I feel like I need to get all of this off of me. They were wrong. They were wrong. They were wrong. But I said some stuff too, but they were wrong. That was literally that whole scene, girl. I was like, I can't do it.
Yeah, I've been through some stuff, but I don't know what they've been through as well.
Like, what the hell? Like, shut. Miss Thing, I was, whatever, the look was right. That's all I had to say about that. The look was right. You could be a bullshitter as much as you want, but the look was right.
And Homegirl's up there singing that song too.
Hell yes. Oh.
Of all times, I've never even heard you say that word before.
What? Hell yes. What? I didn't even know where that came from. I was like, wait, we're talking about church. Oh, baby, give me some hand sanitizer. I am unclean.
Look, child.
Oh, this show is hand sanitizer.
I love this. This is fun. So I decided to invite the group to this Stop the Violence event situation. And I'm like, the irony.
Let's rewind. Y'all had $2 plate thrown at you 2 minutes ago. Girl, they put the bill up, Jamar. They put the bill up in the episode. Do you remember that?
Oh, no. That was the damages.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
Okay. It wasn't $1,000. Why are you putting that up there like that was some huge amount? I was like, Miss Thing.
I want to know, like, how much damages, like, the Bad Girls Club that did in them houses.
Exactly what I said. The same thing. I was like, there is no way in the world y'all put a $400 bill up to talk about some damages when Bad Girls Club has walked away at least
a couple 10, 20,000.
Yes, they have wrecked. So I don't. It just was funny. I'm sorry, y'all. I thought it was going to go on and on. It was like 400.
And it just stopped there. I was like, I thought that was the bill for like all their food.
That's what I thought. I thought that was the food. So the event is to stop the violence. We have, I guess, people. Who was the person that was hosting this event? It wasn't Akeem, because wasn't a bar. Food wasn't.
I think it was something that Ike was a part of, and he invited everyone to attend as a means to, mend relationships. I'm just like,
they need to stop doing that.
It's not gonna happen.
Every time y'all trying to get together with this cast of 27 Scooby-Doo characters that some of us, we don't even remember the reference points about. It's like, who is this again? And what episode were they on? And why is this queen popping up in the screen with her bad built self? I just didn't understand. But it's nice to see it. Ike is cute. Hi, Ike. But we get to, I mean, Davon and Akeem roll up. Akeem looking like, would someone please read another service for the passing of this young man? Anyone like to say anything?
I can't do Akeem.
That face don't move.
Akeem is.
That face don't move.
He's a lot. He's just a lot. In every sense of the word, just a lot.
Them buttons were struggling, weren't they? Struggling. I said, I got one more bow tie to see with you, young man. Oh, well, that's nice for me to say.
Shut
Excuse me. Davon over there, in the microphone, if Akeem does... I love Davon so much, but Lord, he be in his microphone.
In the microphone, child. He's like, are you sure old girl ain't gonna be here? I ain't gonna see her. You know what I'm talking about?
What'd she call it?
I forgot.
Those three. Davon said something. You dragged them.
Was this the week that she called them the other club, sucking dick in the club hole or something like that.
Well, she was like the sucker, and the cloak hit all just was, it was like a spill. It was like 1, 2, 3, you're out. Like, you did a combo, child. Number 3 on the menu. It was right.
And I was in for it because I was like, girl, if anybody on this show, just as a whole, I just don't care for it no matter what, it's December and 4.
Say it again. 4 got one more time to walk in with a resume. Oh, he did tonight. He walked in with a resume. I've been on reality TV and stuff with these girls, and one more time with this resume, with this do-rag on top of your head. One more time.
Nobody have a clue of nothing that you do.
I was like, what has he, honestly, no shade. I had to look up some stuff, and I still was like, so what was that? But kudos. Stop like, walking in with your resume.
We know Devon. We know Brandon. We know Sherrod. Even like Charlie and Delicious have music. Lando is a producer, if I'm not mistaken, listen.
We know the rest of the cast. I'm just gonna be real with you. You walked in with some bullshit shades and a do-rag and some Burlington Coat Factory coat, and you was like, bitch, this is me, I'm this, that, and the other, and this is my resume. And it was really hard to take it from there. Honestly. Now this upcoming episode, if you drop your friend and you read him accordingly, we may give you some points back on the board again.
I'm like, you know what? I might give you another shot.
Because you were doing better this episode.
A little bit.
I appreciated the things he was, even though he was, what he said about Delicious was wrong and it was also transphobic. I was like, here we go again with these slurs and terms being thrown out. But I was here for you clocking your friend being the complete ass in that event like that. That is so disrespectful.
Oh yeah, he was somewhere else. Because he walked in and they tried to do the Black national anthem of Lift Every Voice and Sing. And you gonna sit down?
And
I'm like, with the shades on. I'm
girl, what in the powder dream is this? What in the powder donut is going on with you? What is going on? Because that is not of God, and that is not of anything that was grown from the earth. Can I get an amen? That wouldn't.
Come on, Breaking Bad.
On my own.
But I'm glad it was very interesting. I'm like, oh, they're so close. And I was like, reading them for being friends. I'm like, oh, it makes sense. And then you actually like going against them, not standing up for this Black national anthem. I might actually have to give you some love.
I didn't understand why or what was the argument, because I guess they had some sort of beef or something walking in, but they came in together. So I was confused with that. He's like, he's still mad at me about this fight that we had. And I was like, when did this happen?
We need content. I'm sure we might get that next week with flashbacks and stuff, but it's like...
he could have been introduced the next part too, y'all. I'm just gonna be real with you, because that's where I had my little issue with the editing there. Like, okay, so what happened to where I should be pressed and concerned for do-rag? I didn't understand.
I was like, okay, because we need that, because that's definitely an arc that he definitely...
I would like to like 4, but he's not giving me the opportunity.
Oh, I just remembered 4, because I'm glad you're here to talk, because you saw this part. 4 was outside with Devon and someone else, and was like, who threw the plate? Like, I don't know who threw that plate. And then they clip back to your ass taking the plate and tossing it across the room. Girl.
I thought you'd done reality TV, Miss Thing. They got everything on camera.
Girl, and we'll replay it.
Hello? Oh, just to prove you wrong, Miss Thing, you better ask Andy Cohen in the Bravo series, bitch. Just ask him. I never said that. Boom, clip. It was I thought that was also low-key fake, how she walked up to Davon and them after that whole situation happened, and that was the back and forth between Ford and you and your friend who, is apparently an original castmate. I love how Devon was like, let's get something straight. I was here for the fun.
Because when she was like, I'm a veteran, I'm like...
Where? I said, you came in like the second to last or third to last episode last season. Okay? And you were there just to get on Sherrod's nerves, girl. So what's tea?
I'm not going to get wore out. Because from what I remember, from what I could see, she got wore out. So I don't know. But yeah, I was glad to see that. I forgot about that part.
With your H&M button-up, girl, Davon. This is not H&M. It's like, girl, it didn't matter. It looked H&M. That's the read. You could have something expensive on, but if it looked cheap and she called it cheap,
they don't do nothing.
It's cheap. That's what happens. You bought all
stuff that's cheap and look expensive.
Thank you. But she clocked it, and that's the gag, because it did give me, I got that at possibly a Van Housen, wrapped up in a little, plastic, girl, the old dress shirts you used to get when your parents don't want to buy the nicer dress.
And that stuff be so, it'd be so damn hard iron
crisp.
It would be all crunchy.
The starch.
It should be all crunchy and itchy and
So basically, Davon said your shirt looks crunchy and stiff. Okay, all right.
That's that first grade shirt service shirt.
This is why I couldn't be on this show, because every time a read would happen, I'd have to turn and give the explanation to make it even funnier. Oh, girl, she was talking about this. And oh no, I couldn't be on this mess. I would swing. I'm too quick to swing.
I think also at this event is that there was a real moment that I think we can all relate to. So Sherrod said that he had been communicating with this gentleman via social media, and he just so happened to walk in, and he's like, "Oh, I'm going, say hi, whatever." They went out back. I'm like, "Girl, how many times have we done this,
baby? Let me tell you something.
Seeing somebody out that we've been kind of talking to but never met in person, and then when you see them and they as fine as they were in the picture, or even more fine, baby."
Show me.
Now that camera angle was a little shady because it made him look short. I don't know if he actually was.
No, he was shorter than Sherrod. His face, that face, I was like, oh, okay. I was like, oh, I'm T. Oh, I was here for it.
He gave him a little hug. He's like, "Don't hold me like that." And he's like,
find your way back. Okay.
Hey. Look, listen. I was like, "Yep, I know it. Go ahead and get you a piece. I ain't mad at it at all." But this last scene with Frederick and Delicious. Ooh. Frederick, I appreciate what you tried to do. I know you tried to, make them sit down with Charlie, mend fences and all that good kumbaya shit. I don't think neither one of them are at the headspace where they're ready to have a conversation of that kind of level. They both have shown somewhat of a lack of maturity where they're not ready to do that. And Delicious, girl, you were already in deep enough waters from what you had said previously on this episode and the one prior to. But for you to suggest that you can get someone to lynch.
The word you use too, the specific.
Charlie. Not beat up, not shank, not jump, lynch. Right after you had your, I'm a Mexican trans woman, which is fine. You're beautiful. But the way that you said it implied a superiority complex. You may not have meant it, but that's how it was interpreted.
If someone were to do an Easter egg hunt on trying to prove you're a racist, this episode would be all they would need.
Jackpot.
It's an actual map to the beginning of the start, all within the recap of all the problematic things that you said. And I get when you're angry, you just go in and you forget and you don't think. And I'm afraid that this is the time in the world where you don't have that opportunity to be that person anymore. You should know better. And if you're going to be a voice in the community, no, thank you. Not after what I saw. Not after tonight.
There will be a lot of work to do. And I want to believe that since the taping of this, that work has commenced. We only have to wait and see. If that wasn't enough, well, did you have anything further before we go to this the ending of this episode that they did at the end?
What was the young man's name who we didn't give any time to that had some photo shoot or something together in his studio, and that was the only bit that we saw of him that went on the date with that Ike that one time?
Oh, Tramel.
Yeah, that one. Somehow autocorrect has him as travel. But
I hate autocorrect.
He was in this episode. All right, so that just in case we're like we didn't talk about him, he was in this episode. Do you just want to get to December now and him being on, a substance still again, or what? Because
Oh, I thought after you done shaded him about him going.
I mean, that's the Rock'ems, that's the sweet back.
I mean, if you have something, let's go.
Redrick's comment about Delicious's eyebrows will forever stay in my mind about, girl, you didn't have time to finish them because they look a little. I want to trust her, but then I look at her eyebrows, and when I tell you, Reg,
only Redrick could have made that read.
Right, because I was gonna read you for walking in that basic outfit, girl, trying to pretend like she was somebody. I was like, now come on, green top and bell bottoms, it's gonna be okay. But after that, I was like, yes, I forgot, I like you. I like you a lot. She's funny. I love me some Redrick.
She, like, last week, she was getting on my nerves. I ain't gonna lie. She was getting on my nerves a little bit. I was like, girl, how many times you gonna talk about you getting knocked down, girl? And then you was mad at all the wrong people, not the person that actually knocked you down.
That's what I'm saying, girl. That fight, that whole back and forth between her and Davon was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
What's going on?
Davon's right eye was rolling so hard, girl, because he was angry, and every time he get upset, that Kennedy Davenport zip on down the line. Every time he gets mad, he goes.
I saw it at the apartment scene. When he was looking at his boyfriend.
I giggled so loud because once the conversation got to his boyfriend not agreeing or wanting to do what he wanted to do, then Davon's, it was like, but wait. He's still my favorite. He is my absolute favorite on this show. Like, absolutely. But that bulletproof vest child did not fit. And I love you, Davon. It did not fit.
Oh, that's right.
That sucker was sitting up here. Them things were sitting up here. I don't like those. I don't get that too. Like, I feel only certain people can pull that off, but I'm gonna be quiet.
It's truly a shame that Brandon isn't gonna be a part of the show as a whole anymore.
After that scene?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
No, Carson, after because they shaded the fuck out of him, because after that whole barbecue thing, it was like, it was at this moment that Brandon decided that this platform is not for him. Please go support him on OnlyFans. And the thing about it is, they tried to make it seem like, go support him and go, show him some love. You could have said his social media accounts. You could have if you're gonna put the OnlyFans, you could have gave the link.
They just wrote OnlyFans.
No, they put how when you're editing, and especially iMovie, you just put the text stuff on there and it kind of fades in. It just said it was at this point where Brandon decided that he, this platform wasn't for him, and he decided he didn't want to be on the show anymore. Please go support him on OnlyFans.
That is so wrong. That is so wrong. That is so tacky. That's his business. That is his business. That's almost his social media. It's a slight. It's a slight. And that lets me feel like, I hate when people try to shame stuff like that, knowing that they paid for those OnlyFans accounts.
Let me tell you, there are people making $100,000 from showing their ass on that.
I've been debating. Lord knows his rump is right. So I'm
just like, y'all can't share. That's making money now.
I hate how this episode ended, Jamar. Lesson of the week: learn from your mistakes. You're lying. Followed by 5 minutes of, if you like to donate or find a way to help out in any sort of way with violence, hate, or discrimination, here are the following links. And then it goes on this PowerPoint presentation. I did not understand that hypocrisy and bullshit when you edited all this in to where we could really just see this mess. I get it, but it's also like, you know, I'm going to do something bad, but then show you there's something good at the end of this road. Like, no.
That was so tacky, y'all.
Hated it.
That was so tacky. And I was like, oh, so y'all really doing this? Like, y'all really had this woman talk about lynching another Black person and then go talk about Black Lives Matter immediately afterwards?
That does not make up for what just happened. It like really didn't. That didn't help at all. Like, oh, at least they did that. There was no at least for me. I just wanted to end it, and I texted you right afterwards. Like, the hell was this?
I don't know. I saw it. I tweeted about it. I was like, ooh.
Just like when that producer came on there. Girl, was that a producer? Was it a producer or somebody that came on a PA? I forget who got on the camera one time and was like, listen, now everybody else around here, and I was like, hold on, why is there a production assistant on camera?
I forget who she is, but she was part of the production crew. I'm like,
that was so unprofessional. Like, stop. I like this show. It's just those kind of moments I go, oh, no, who thought that was cute? Y'all don't have to do all that.
Yeah, like if we didn't like the show, we wouldn't be here. But it's just like, because I like the show, I have to say where you went wrong.
Where you could do.
I have to say where you went wrong and give you constructive criticism and feedback.
Mm-hmm.
That whole sequence of events that y'all edited together, I know that y'all are trying to create the topic of conversation and, you know, build up the viewership, but that's not it.
We want this to be an open conversation about it. By displaying the Gremlins from the movie The Gremlins to then give a whole bunch of bullshit to the other Gremlins from the Gremlins 2 movie, The Gremlins 2. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this.
I
can't wait till next week.
Oh yeah, I'll watch it. I'll be tuning the fuck in next week.
Wait for next week. That better be a good dragon.
I have to see where we go from here, because y'all left us at a place, and
when she took off her shades and tried to get serious with Redrick, oh, that was so funny to me. She was like, look at me. That's how you know I'm serious. I don't ever tell my story. So that's how you know I'm serious. Look at me. Stop it.
I need to see text messages deleted. I need to see a video. I need something.
Where are the receipts? I don't need
receipts. And I don't know if you hold it back.
He paid for it, girl. We got to see it.
Do you have the Venmo transaction? Do you have the Cash App deposit?
Did he pay you cash? I wouldn't believe Charlie would pay you cash for some pone. I wouldn't. Well, excuse me, for some pain. Because remember, you dug that puss out, right? You dug it out, and
then she like came on his back and all this stuff.
The vulgarity of it all, the unbecoming of a lady of it all, the disgusting.
She was like, she was steadfast in it, and Reggie was like, well, she's sticking to it, girl. So I wonder how much truth there is to that. Because she's like, I really don't think she would just say this outright and there had been no truth to it. But I need something.
Because I don't see Charlie as that girl. That's why I was like,
I don't. But I'm like, she is
really adamant. What about this story?
Something ain't adding up. I'm like, okay, so
I take her to court if it wasn't true. That's how deep I do it. I would take her. She's about to get her ass beat next week. You saw that wig pop? You saw that wig pop off?
You know what? I asked her about that. When did we get to see that? And she was like, either this week or next week. Now, if I recall correctly, she said that she took it off herself. So we will see what happened or what they show. Because baby, I can't wait.
This show is interesting, but it's also some mess. So for those of you who watch my friend here who are part of this cast and understand, I'm a little bit aggressive in my opinion. That's why Jamar comes to my show to be the smooth operator while my Tina Turner rock and roll happens. However, you know, I had to say something. I had to come here, Jamar, and I'll be back next week. Now after that, I may take a break on this show, but these 2 episodes in particular.
Oh yeah, this was a great time. It was a great time to come on.
Oh yes, because I couldn't believe it. Y'all went to Benihana's and tore it down. But
anyways, you guys, that's it for this week's episode of gsatlh. Again, follow my friend and all the social media links that have been listed down below. Follow me if you're not already. Everything is at Jamar84, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And we will be back next week to see part 2. See you guys later.
Bye.
Like, share, subscribe.
Jamar, Washington.